Hi everyone, welcome back to today's video. For today, we are going to be making this super cute little pizza box. We're not going to be making the pizza box, we're going to use the ones that we already have, but we're going to be decorating this little pizza box, and I think this turned out absolutely adorable. So I made a little treat box. Shoot, when did I make that? I can't even remember. But anyway, I used our regular white pizza boxes and it just turned out so adorable. So I had to use the gold ones for Christmas and do something like that that had a little bit more of a holiday flair to it. I like the gold ones. I think they're absolutely stunning, especially with this really, really pretty ribbon that we have. And I know when I did that one previously, I had talked about you could do this for and put like a little treat inside. What I think what is also really nice is you can use this as a gift box and wrap a smaller gift in this, and it looks so stunning. So there's tons of different things you can do with this. I think this would be really pretty under your Christmas tree or to give to a coworker or a family member or a friend. So I'm really, really, really excited about this one. They're super adorable and super, super easy to do. So to make this, what we need is you will need one of our gold mini pizza boxes. Like I kind of mentioned, we are using this ruched ribbon in Real Red, and it is so pretty. It's so easy to work with also. I love this so, so much. And then, and we're also using just a little bit of our white baker's twine, and I'll show you how to use this when we get to it. A little sneaky, sneaky trick that I came up with and that I found. I kind of just made it up, so there might be an easier way to do what I'm doing. Y'all let me know. And then I have two pieces of paper here. So this is one of the 6x6 pieces of Designer Series paper, and this is from the Wrapped in Plaid collection. So on the back, there is like some gold foiling. This paper pack is absolutely gorgeous. So I really, really love this one. And I just like the little deer image, so that's what we're going to be using for today. And then I also have a piece of our red glimmer paper, and this is cut at 3 1/4 by 6 1/4, just to kind of give you guys an idea of how much you're going to need. I just have one piece of the 6x6 paper here because you pretty much use most of this. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of what you will need. And then the only other thing is I am going to be using my tear and tape. I usually call this out when I'm using it just because it's not a standard adhesive that everybody keeps on hand. So I like to use this because I think it helps adhere everything to the box a little bit better. So just throwing that out there, if you guys don't have this on hand, you could absolutely use snail or glue dots or something like that. But I think tear and tape works the best personally. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so normally when I do a box using our mini pizza boxes, I show you guys how I cut the paper because it can get a little bit complicated. This one I'm doing 2 layers. So if you can see, I have the red glimmer and then I have the Designer Series paper on top, which just adds a little bit of extra dimension to it. So I'm going to walk you guys through how I cut this. So for the red glimmer paper, like I said, you want to start with a piece that is 3/4 by 6 1/4, and you just have to trust me because I can't get it all the way over there. Actually, this piece is a little bit bigger, so I'm gonna have a little bit extra, but it's totally up to you how big of a piece you want to start with. So my piece again is already cut at 3/4 of an inch, or sorry, not 3/4 of an inch, 3 1/4 inches in width. And now to do the top portion, so to back up, we're going to need 5 different pieces. So you're going to need the top, which is the big piece, and then you need 4 sides, and the 4 sides are all the same size. So the top is the biggest piece, so that's going to be cut at 3/4 of an, not 3/4 of an inch, 3 1/4 inch by 3 1/4 of an inch. So now I have my top piece here. And then my width is going to be exactly the same, so 3 1/4, and then I'm going to cut these at 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to do 4 of these. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the last one gets a little tricky to cut because you can't, well, for me at least, because I can't hold it down, but this new trimmer is pretty good. So I just happen to have a little bit of a scrap left over, no big deal. So I now have 4 pieces that are exactly the same, and then my large piece up here all being the same width. These are just cut at a smaller height. Now I'm going to take my designer series paper and I'm going to start by cutting it at 3 1/8 of an inch. So 3 1/8. Okay, and then I'm going to cut it again at 3 1/8 so that I can get the top of my box. So to just kind of show you guys, cutting it just slightly smaller gives us a nice thin border of that red glimmer paper, and it looks absolutely amazing. So now I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to cut it, excuse me, I'm going to cut it at 5/8 of an inch. So I'm actually going to turn this, we can do it this way. So to show you guys how this works, so I have my 1/2 inch here, and this would be 4/8. So then I'm just going to go to the next largest mark, and that's going to be 5/8. I'm going to do 2 of these. Just like that. So now I have these 2 pieces that are perfect, are the exact same size, and they're going the exact same direction. Now, me being me, if you guys watched my last video when I did this, I like the sides of my box to have the paper going the same direction, which means I can't just cut this piece again because then I would have the sides going a different direction. So I like to make it a little more complicated for myself, but if you also like that, I will show you what you need to do. So now let's cut this. So I have this scrap piece over here. What I want to do is cut this at 3 1/8 of an inch because that's how tall we want these to be. So 3 1/8. Okay, and then if you want to check this, this is the same width as our smaller pieces, right? So I just have my paper going a different direction. So now I'm going to cut this piece now at 5/8 of an inch. 1 and whoops. Did I cut that one too thick? No, I didn't. 1 and 2. So now I have these 2 pieces that go up and down, and these 2 pieces, oops, that are kind of left and right, but they're all the exact same size. And then I'm left with a couple extra, oops, is that my extra piece? Yes. I'm left with a couple extra scraps here, nothing major, and there's not a ton of waste with doing this project. So that is how I cut the paper. Now it's pretty simple to just assemble the box now. So I'm going to take my red glimmer. Okay, so I just sped that up because I figured it probably wouldn't be that exciting just watching me put some paper together for a few minutes. So all I did, like you guys saw, was put a piece of tear and tape on the back of all of the smaller pieces, stuck them down to the glimmer paper, and then did the same thing with the bigger piece. So now it's really time to assemble our box. So I'm going to scooch those all off to the side just to kind of show you guys how exactly we're going to do this. And the whole box won't fit in my frame for a minute, but I shall show you. So there is on here a little hole that you may have to punch out. I'm going to take the little hole and I'm going to turn this. I'm going to put the hole furthest away from me. I'm then going to take my big piece and it's going to go right there. And then I'm going to take the 2 smaller pieces that are going the same direction. And I'm going to put one right there and one right there. So just to kind of show you guys, my big piece, then you have this little rectangle here and you want to put one right there. You have a big rectangle, you want to skip that because that's just the bottom of your box, and then you want to put one of your pieces right there. So again, I'm just going to take some tear and tape and I'm going to stick all of those down really fast. Okay, so now I have my 3 pieces on, and now I'm going to turn my box just like this. So my big piece is furthest away from me. And then you have these 2 little flaps down here. So I have my big piece that has 2 little flaps, and then I have the bigger piece that we didn't put anything on that has 2 little flaps. That is where these pieces are gonna go, except they should go like this. So again, I'm just gonna put a couple pieces of tear and tape on them and stick them down. Okay, so now our box is basically ready to put it together. So I am going to flip it over, and wherever the little hole is, I'm going to have the hole closest to me. And then I'm just going to start to fold on all of the perforated lines. I do find that the gold is a little bit stiffer than just the normal pizza boxes. My guess is whatever is the coating on it to put the gold just makes it a little bit stiffer. So it may take a little bit more work to fold some of the pieces, but it's not like it's difficult or anything. It just takes a little bit of extra push. So I still have the piece that has the hole right next to me. I'm gonna pull in the little tabs that are on the side here. Whoops. There are a couple little extra bits that you may have to take off. So I'm going to pull up these little tabs and then fold in the sides. And then my pointer fingers are kind of holding these tabs right here. And then with my thumbs, I'm just going to push this piece up and around and then snap it into place. And then you have a cute little box. Just like that. This is adorable. You could keep it just like this and just give it to people. I think that would be absolutely cute. But to spice it up a little bit and to make it a little extra, because we all know that I need to do that, I'm going to go ahead and put some ribbon on it. So I'm going to start off by cutting a couple pieces of ribbon. So I just kind of lay the ribbon across the box and cut, and then I'm just going to measure and cut another piece the exact same length. Just like that. And we are going to need the ribbon again in a minute, but just for this step, we're good for now. So now all I'm going to do is take a couple pieces of tape, and I just like to have my tape ready. Take a couple pieces of tape, and I'm going to flip my box over. So if you're going to put something inside of it, you want to put it inside prior to doing this step, because you're not going to be able to get back into it. So I just fold it over, and then I tape it on the back, and then I'm going to turn my box and I'm going to do it the exact same way. And this gives it the illusion that you've actually wrapped it in the ribbon, but you haven't. And this is like 10 times easier than having to figure out how to wrap it in the ribbon. Perfect, just like that. So now what you can do is you can leave it like that, or you can put a little bow on top. If you want to do the bow, all I'm going to do is take a piece of ribbon, and I'm just going to be generous with my piece again. This ribbon is actually really, really nice for cutting or for making bows, because it's so thick. It's really, really easy to make a pretty bow. I may have to go yell at a dog in a second. Sorry, my dogs are going crazy today. Okay, so I made my little bow, and now what I can do, and this is my trick to kind of putting the bow on the box pretty easily, I'm going to take a piece of my white baker's twine, and I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm just going to feed in one end of the ribbon through this bow, and I will show you in a second what I am talking about. So I just kind of wind it around the tip of my Take Your Pick tool, and then at the back of the bow where you have kind of that little space, I tie this one pretty tight, so I don't know how easily I'm going to be able to do this. Sometimes it's easier to like poke your poker tool in first to get a good start, and I may have to come at it from this other side. Like I said, if y'all have a better way of doing this, please let me know. And then I want to feed this little piece of baker's twine in through there. So I'm just going to take my poker tool, and eventually you will start seeing it come through the other side, I promise. There we go, just like that. And then you can kind of fix your bow up if you've messed it up a little bit. So now I'm going to take my baker's twine and I'm just going to tie it just to make sure that it's nice and secure and that it's not going to go anywhere. Just like that. And then what I do is I take the baker's twine and I'm just going to feed one end under here. And what you can actually do is undo your ribbon. It's probably what I should have done. Instead of taping down the second piece of ribbon, you are going to tie your bow on it with your baker's twine. This way, it looks like you've wrapped your little mini pizza box up really nice and pretty, put a little bow on it, and in reality, you didn't have to wrap it, you didn't have to get it perfect. You cheated and tied your ribbon on, or I told you to cheat and tie your ribbon on because it's 10,000 times easier than trying to wrap up your present. Trust me, I know because I do it every year. So now you can just put this piece on. And then we can tape this bad boy on, just like that. I think I'm going to cut the little tails of my bow just slightly. Just like that. And there we go. There is our little mini pizza box, gift box, something like that, for today. So I hope you guys really, really enjoy. As usual, you can purchase any of these products 24/7 just by going to littlemooncreation.stampitup.net, or you can click on the coordinating blog post, which is the first link down below. Again, this is, what are we on? Let me check my list. This is day 5 of my 12 days of Christmas, so we still have a few more days to go, so make sure you guys are coming back over the next week or so to see what is up next. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.